Let's jump into hammer maintenance. These basics keep your equipment sharp and avoid costly downtime.
Got ourselves a diesel hammer here. And we're going to go through some daily checks.
Okay.
And basic things we want to look for before we start operating.
Sure.
Right? So of course we'd want to check our bolts and nuts, because remember, these things are going to be vertical in the air.
Okay.
You know, the good thing to do is to paint mark bolts.
Okay.
So they can be visually inspected. But a good paint mark on those and a visual inspection would be good. So every nut and bolt on here, especially lead guides, your trip clip bolts, you know, your fuel pump guard bolts, anything that could possibly fall out the sky, you want to be putting a wrench on and making sure it's good and tight every morning before you go to operate.
Okay.
Okay. Then as far as all your hoses go, you know, we want to look for if we got any leaks, if we got any cuts in our hoses, any kind of damage, anything that might have happened during our day before operations that could have damaged any of these hoses. You know, always want to look around where your worm clamps and stuff are, anything where you're got any connections where your leaks would likely be that would show up. You want to put a good visual on those.
Okay.
If there's anything that needs to be corrected, get it corrected before you stand it up to go to put it on the pile.
Sure.
Right? You've got a whole cluster of hoses that are going to come together here around your fuel pump and your lube pump, right? And we know we're going to be putting some pressure on those lines.
Right.
So we want to make sure we're getting a good visual inspection of those every day, and any leaks that pop up, we want to get addressed.
Okay.
Right? These hammers will run hot, and things that run hot, you put fuel and lube and things like that to something that's hot and get a lot of leaks, you're putting yourself in a bind. Another thing that we need to be paying attention to as an operator, your guys are going to come over here and they're going to fill this fuel in this lube tank up every morning, right? Or every afternoon, whichever way. Depending on how many power you got, you might have to fuel and lube in the middle of the day.
Okay.
Right? What we want to be paying attention to, we briefly talked about this when we were on the table with the other products over there, but you want to be running 1 gallon of oil to 4 parts of fuel, right?
Okay.
So when you're filling this up, you want to kind of be paying attention and monitoring how much lube am I having to put in versus how much fuel am I having to put in.
I got you.
That's where you can understand and get a feel for if I need to make any adjustments to that lube pump.
Okay. Yep.
Right? So we want to make sure we're not just throwing oil and fuel in it and not paying any attention. Because if there's some issues that happen on the job, you call a service technician, those questions like that may come up. You can monitor that every day and you'll kind of know what's going on with your hammer.
Sure.
Okay, so remember that.
So 4 to 1.
Yep, 4 to 1. So you got fuel element and lube element filters inside, right? And you've got your strain filters here.
Sure.
So about once a week or once every 2 weeks, it'd be a good idea to crack open your on-off valves, crack them open and check that filter that's inside for debris.
Okay.
And if you're doing that on a regular basis and you notice, hey man, it looks like we might have a little bit of extra, it looks like a little dirtier than normal, right? Then we might want to go ahead and pull our fuel filter and our lube filters out of our tank and address that.
I got you.
Right? You've got strains inside of here. If anything's getting through here and you're starting to get a lot of fuel or a lot of things being gathered by your filters here, then you know you probably got something in your tank you need to address.
Okay.
Another thing you want to be on the lookout for, your exhaust port and your intake and exhaust ports.
Right.
Right? You should always see some moisture around those exhaust ports when that hammer's running.
Okay.
Right? It should look like a mix of fuel and oil.
Okay.
Right? So if you notice that they're getting dry, right, then you're probably not getting enough oil to your lower.
Okay.
Right? You'd also notice, hey, I don't seem to be using enough oil.
Right.
So monitoring how much oil you put in, kind of looking at your exhaust ports, making sure things look like they should, can kind of help you understand the health of the hammer.
And that's when you might need to adjust this
lube.
slack in your lube. Okay, the lube.
Back to your lube pump there, right? Another thing, when the hammer's standing vertical, a lot of times the hammer gets stored vertical. You know, in the evenings on the way home, whatever. They knock off, dog it off, and the hammer's vertical for the evening. You come back in the morning, when you pick that hammer up, you want to see a good sheen of oil around that anvil, but you don't want to see it running down through it.
I see.
Right? If you've got something running down through it, you definitely need to pull that clean out plug, which we're going to demonstrate shortly. Pull your clean out plug and evacuate all of that fluid.
Okay.
Right?
Routine checks mean reliable performance. A few minutes spent now means peak performance on every job.